Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cincinnati Real Producers podcast, powered by Next Door Photos. I'm Patrick Braddick, owner and publisher of Cincinnati Real Producers.
And I'm Daniel Ziegler, owner of Next Door Photos. Every week, we're getting to know Cincinnati's top realtors.
Our goal is to elevate and inspire the real estate community throughout greater Cincinnati.
All right, well, today we have Tyler Minges with Huff Realty. Tyler has been in the industry since 2007. With a company of almost 600 agents, Tyler has been recognized as the top agent at Huff Realty for 6 years running. He's also in the top 0.01% in the nation. Last year alone, his production volume was over $43 million, and he has a career production volume of over $450 million. Welcome to the show, Tyler Minges.
Thanks, guys.
Dang,
Morning.
Tyler. That's good, dude.
Yeah, we run a sweatshop. That's all right.
That is impressive, my friend. I know that we have the set way that we want to do our podcast, but whenever somebody says they start in 2007 or 2008, I have to ask the question, how was the first year?
I was scared to death. So prior to real estate, I played professional baseball. So baseball has been my life forever.
Yeah.
Since I was 4 years old, baseball, sports. My family was big into sports. My grandpa's a running back for the Packers. My dad played in college football. So it runs deep. So competition and I don't know if this is the right way, but winning has always been. There's no second place.
Sure.
And that goes with anything. I don't care if you are, a
real estate agent?
A real estate agent, playing football, playing baseball. Yeah. We used to work on a farm. If it's picking tomatoes, my grandpa used to run a produce stand. So it was picking soybean, picking half runners, picking tomatoes, picking cannellini. You picked more than the other guy.
Yeah.
And, so it was always competition, no matter what it is. If you're going to the bathroom, you can go further than the guy next to you. I mean, no matter what it is, there's just this, it's bred into the Minges family, is there's a competition here, at least with my father, my grandpa, and all that.
I feel like that breeds work ethic, though, too.
It literally, I think it has everything to do with, a lot to do with my success. Not everything.
Yeah.
Family and my support behind it is the other part. But it's not just winning. It's I want to be the best at that, whatever you do, and then fill in the blank. So coming out of baseball, 2007, my last year was with the Red Sox, and had a chance to go with the Dodgers. And I was 27 at the time. My body was hurting. My knees hurt. I had 4 elbow surgeries, I think, shoulder surgery, 3 knee surgeries. So I'd been through the ringer.
Wow.
And if you go, you're a free agent. I'm going to be with the Dodgers, another big market team. And I think, okay, I'm going to go to AA, AAA, be back behind all these big leaguers. And in the big leagues, to get to arbitration, you need to be there at least 2.7 years. Now I'm going to be 30 to get a contract. How long of a contract am I going to get when I'm 30? It was a quick flash, like, really, is this, or should we just, move on? And I cried like a baby. I remember where I was standing when I told the guy. I was up in Oxford, with my dad on a job, getting ready to go into an elevator, and I was talking to my agent. I said, I think I'm ready to, couldn't get it out, but I was like, I think I'm ready to hang him up. Like, I'm ready to retire, move on. And, you're lost.
Yeah.
What you knew your whole life. But so getting in was really scared, but I didn't know any better.
Yeah. Well, tell us about that decision. So baseball to real estate, what kind of led to that decision?
So my father owns a drywall company. He grew up on a farm, and he was one of 9 kids, very, very, very poor growing up. But really, if you think about all your friends who don't have much, they don't know any better.
Right.
A lot of people put their boots on and they go, I'm going to change it. I don't like that being without stuff. I want to work. And my dad at 18 years old, he was the oldest boy, second oldest in the family. He left, went to Marietta College, was quarterback for the football team, and he's like, I want to do something. I'm leaving the house and I'm gonna go grow up. And he went
Wow.
out there in 2 years. He quit college and started his own drywall company. He was doing it on the side to make money.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden started a drywall company. And he was studying biochemical engineering to be in the petroleum industry.
Holy cow.
So I'm like, Dad, we could be like oil tycoons, and here we are in the drywall business. I mean, like literally.
Yeah.
My dad's a very intelligent guy, and math's
Yeah.
like super his super subject.
Yeah,
And
wow.
but he's a worker,
Yeah.
and being on a farm, if he doesn't work with his hands every day, I think he feels not accomplished.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I can relate to
that's,
that.
I think that's entrenched into my blood too, because
Mhm.
I'm a worker bee, and so coming out of baseball or playing baseball, growing up, my dad would buy farms. If he saved up enough money, he would buy a farm because his family farmed.
Mhm.
So his brother farmed. So I was always like, okay, well, I'm going to find the next deal. And there was in section 147 of Cincinnati Enquirer. That was the only place you saw advertisement.
Wow.
There was no internet.
Wow.
So every Sunday, section 147, I would go in there and look. I'd go out to get the paper. I'd come in, and I'd say, "Oh, here's a farm, and here's a farm, and they would be all over." So I would start to, not knowing, I'm 8, 10, 12 years old, not knowing that I'm educating myself, looking for deals.
Right.
Sure.
So there'd be an auction. We go to the auction. Maybe he'd buy the farm or not. So it kind of got into me at a young age, and then we would buy a farm, then we would fix it up, clean it up, tear the houses down, barns that was run down, and then it'd be a beautiful piece of property. And we just kept them. Like my dad's he owns, I don't know, over 1,000 acres now, and now we're like land hoarders. It's
That's
kinda
awesome.
so that's kind of where it came from. And then my dad owns a warehouse where his company runs, and he rents a little bit of it out. So I just saw, do what you know.
Right. You kind
Right.
of grew up around it.
Yeah, so
From
I
a young
can-
age, you're kind of directed on what you should be looking for.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not really. No, I just took an interest in it. So I think it was finding the deal, winning
Yeah.
that mentality, and so after real estate, after baseball,
baseball, yeah.
went to my accountant, which I have his house for sale right now, my
Nice.
accountant, and I said, I want to get in real estate, but what are your thing? Where do you think I should go with this? And he said, Huff Realty. I mean, it was
Wow.
quick. And he had a lot of big
Really?
agents. He had some
Yeah.
big agents, Coldwell Banker, Star One. And he says, Tom Hamilton, which was my manager at the time, he just retired. And Tom Hamilton, he was in commercial, but he was also residential, did developments. But he partnered with Huff Realty. He left Coldwell Banker back in the day, poached a lot of agents, and
Mhm.
opened up all these Huff Realty offices and got a partnership with Huff. So he owned part of the company by opening that.
Interesting.
So I think my accountant saw, I think that he can, this experience here, I think he can share with how to, I wasn't just going to go sell a piece of property. And I think he saw that
Right.
I was this wild man that's I'm
Yep.
going to go do something.
Sure.
And he'll know what, but
Yeah.
he'll guide me. And so that's really how I got into real estate, and then to Huff is met with him and sold my neighbor, the very first house I sold was my neighbor's. Created a list, and I'm an agent now, and he called up and says, "Hey Tyler, I want to list my house, and I've seen you grow up since you're 4 years old. We've been
Right.
your neighbor, and you're a go-getter, and I want you to sell mine. I know you'll do a good job." And he
That's
knew
awesome.
all the big hitters in town,
Yeah.
and I think they crap their pants.
Right.
Yeah.
This little guy, who's this new guy?
Uh-huh.
They kind of upset the people, but he knew. We sold it in, I think, 7 days over asking price. And that was back in 07, which
Right.
Sure.
market was,
Was-
getting ready to die.
Was getting,
Right.
Yeah, was getting ready to
So I
crash.
just didn't know any better. I got into it.
Sure.
And that was, I think, the big part of, even for agents now, if you don't know anything,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
You learn how to work.
Yeah.
In tough times, you'll learn how to work, and to be successful, then get into it when it's good.
Right.
Especially
So-
through that time period. It's like you're scraping for anything at that point. But it seems to me that you've really, and we've said this in previous podcasts too, like it seems like you've really fallen back on relationships, and relationships in the areas that you work are pretty tight from what it sounds like, like your friends become family type of, mentality as opposed to walking by thousands of people in downtown Cincinnati or wherever you're at,
It's definitely it's the farming feel
Yeah.
is kind of how I built my business. It's all relationship. I mean, sales is relationships. If people like you, they'll work with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My dad growing up on a farm and how we are between us, I have 3 brothers, we will take a bullet for you.
Sure.
It's our family. And, you hear a lot that people don't have those relationships in their family. And I feel for them because I'm lucky. My dad's one of 9. He'd do anything in the world for any of his siblings. My grandma was the greatest woman. My grandpa, he was awesome. He was tough. And he raised 9 kids. But for us, it was I don't need a contract in real estate. I have a handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you don't have my word, if you can't trust my word, you're not in my circle.
Yeah.
So you're family. If you're family, I'm going to take care of you. That's how I built my business. I don't sell anything.
That's awesome.
In business, I sell nothing.
Yeah.
I advise them. I give them all the information as if they're my mother, my son, my wife, as if I'm the transaction. And they're smart enough. If they have enough info, they're smart enough to make a decision.
Sure.
That's literally how I've built my business. People ask me all the time, how'd you build it?
Yeah.
I'm just I will go to bat for you. I'll
Yeah.
speak up for you. I'll advise you what I think I would do. And then you're smart enough to make the decision.
Yeah.
I don't sell anything,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which I think is if you talk around, there's sales guys and they never have repeat clients. So their business is always, they got one client and they're done. One client and they're done.
Yeah.
Great.
Mine just keeps building because I took care of mom. Then I
Mhm.
took care of the cousin. Then I took
Yeah.
care of the son. Then I took care of the son's buddy. And they don't refer me as a favor to me. They refer me as a favor to their friend.
So
Yeah.
you're a consultant,
Pretty much.
like I'm not a salesman. I'm a consultant.
You get, and you don't work for the money.
Yeah.
You work, and then you get paid if they make the right decision.
Sure.
So if they have all the info, and if you know how to dissect it and care, if you care, and I don't care what you're into, if you care, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
And if you're good to people,
That's awesome.
they will want to work with you. And that's really my business.
Yeah.
People go, if you want to
Love
look at that, that's my business. That's my business.
That's it.
And you
Secret
just,
sauce.
you have to treat them like they're family. And if they're, we were talking a little bit earlier that I've only had to do it a couple times in my career to terminate a contract.
Yeah.
If they don't trust you or if they think they know more than you, it's, we're hearing this together. It's not me selling. It's not them selling. It's us selling. If we're not on the same page. Over thousands of transactions, 2 times I had to terminate a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
That's
the
amazing.
best thing that ever happened.
Right.
I slept really good after that.
I bet.
Well, and like real quick, I don't know if you know this. We've known each other for over 5 years now.
Is it?
It's been
Seems
5
like
years.
longer. I
First-
think I feel like
I know.
we're,
You're a good dude.
we're like
You're a good
brothers
dude.
when we were younger.
But the first time I met Tyler, it was right when I started this business, and not many people were taking my phone calls. And Tyler's like, "Yeah, I'll meet with you. That's fun. It sounds like fun. Like, let's just meet." Well, he didn't know that my son was born 3 days prior, and I walked in just totally like a zombie.
Yeah.
He's like, "Did you just have a kid?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I knew it. And
it will wear you out.
yeah,
yes.
it'll wear you out." But like we had just met, and he was so excited. It was honestly like we had known each other a lifetime, And it was, that character just kind of stuck with me, and I think we've been friends ever since.
Sure.
So it's been fun.
When you have a love for life and a love
Yeah.
for people, and I do, and people are like, you never shut up.
Yeah,
I truly, genuinely love people.
yeah,
I love hearing their story because everyone has a story.
Mm.
Yep.
And we get caught up in our own little riffraff and our own little chase. And it's just, this thing we call life, it doesn't last forever. But it is
Yeah.
fast. It's chaotic. We're trying to always just keep it together.
yeah,
Mhm.
Some people make it look really easy.
Yep.
My job is to make it look really easy.
yeah,
And you would hear it in other people. And you hear this saying out there, must be nice.
Mhm.
They have no clue what they think their job
Yeah.
and their life is chaotic, and it is, and so is mine, and so is yours, and
Yep.
so is yours, and you're worried about dinner tonight, and you're worried about the bills that are coming in, and you're worried about the cars that's going to run. They got baseball practice, they got football practice, they've got tutoring, they've got dances, I got to get dinner for the kids, I got to get them to bed, we got to get up tomorrow morning. All that's just a fraction of what we deal with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you have to do with it? Put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make it look really easy.
Yep.
And then for me, I have to deal with, right now I think we have 21 properties under contract.
Wow.
So that's 21 more children
Uh-huh.
Yep.
and their kids
Right.
that I'm also raising. And here's what you got to do. Yeah, man, it's great.
Yep.
Because what are you going to do? Complain about it?
Right.
When you complain, you go down. Everyone goes down with you. And they're like, well, they can't handle it.
Yeah.
Mm.
You just do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The big thing is, must be nice. You know what? It is. But you do not want to go the route that it took to get me here. Same with, the big producers in this business. It's an absolute dumpster fire. If you really look at it from their shoes, oh my God, how do they do it?
Yeah.
You just do it.
Well, I think that's the ultimate compliment. Must be nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because all you're seeing is the tip of the iceberg.
That's it.
Right.
And that's all we want. That's our goal, is for you just to see that tip of the iceberg. And that means we're doing something right.
Yeah.
So-
They don't understand. Obviously, they're struggling at somewhere internally. They're struggling.
Yeah.
And there's a little envy of what they appear to be success. So they don't. I know some of the happiest people in the world. They make $35,000. They're happy, and they're happy if you are doing better. They're happy
Right.
if you. I don't have a boat, but they're happy if you go buy a boat.
Yeah.
Then there's the people that are. They envy that you have a boat. Like, why does he have a boat? I can't afford a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not the people in my
In your sphere.
business.
Yeah.
They don't want to work with you because they feel that you may get something. I
Yeah.
step back and I analyze a lot of everyone around, and you can feel their energy, you can feel their verbiage, you can just see it and feel it and smell it.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel fear, you can feel love. I'm really attracted to people who want others to do well. I
Yeah.
want everyone in the world to do incredibly well, even folks that I don't agree with.
Sure.
Right.
I can agree to disagree. We were talking about a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I can agree to disagree. Doesn't mean you're going to change my opinion. I may not change your
Right.
opinion. And
And doesn't
that's
mean I hate
okay.
you either.
Doesn't mean I hate you.
Yeah.
I'll probably take a bullet if you respect those.
Yeah.
But if you start digging and trying to bury other people and putting them down and trying to bring them down because you don't feel like you're successful, that's where I step in and say, whoa.
Yeah.
And I stand up for
That's awesome.
the people that are struggling a little bit.
Right.
I think it's the right thing to do.
So at a first glance, you were able to see that Patrick had a new baby. So that makes me curious about your family. So tell us a little bit about your family.
So I have wonderful, amazing wife, Angela.
She's awesome.
She is the opposite of me. I'm out there. I talk to anyone. I don't care if we go on vacation, people next to me, I'm talking to them. I just think it's good to interact.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson said something the other day, and he says, in life, you're so busy and you're texting, you're returning emails, and you're running around, and we just don't stop and talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Open the door for them and say, hey, how's your day?
Yep.
We don't interact like that. I interact, and I think there's a fulfillment there to interact, brighten somebody's day, hold the door,
Yeah.
buy their lunch, whatever it may be. Don't let them know, hey, I bought your lunch.
Sure.
Just do it. You do it for you.
Yeah.
Do it to take care of them, not for
Uh-huh.
the self-acknowledgement, and then go post it on Facebook
Right.
or what, and say, oh, look what I did. Don't do that. So my wife she's the complete opposite. She's really quiet. She doesn't when I'm out talking to everybody.
Like the attention.
She's the complete opposites attract. It's there.
Really.
We have two amazing kids, Ruby, who's 7, Ari, who's 10. I couldn't be more blessed. If I was to write the book a while ago, what I would want, it's past that. I've surpassed what
That's awesome.
I never would have thought that my business would be where it's at. I never thought that I'd have two amazingly beautiful children that we get along. We do super things. They have amazing talents, and they're both different, but they're alike.
Yeah.
My daughter is me, and my son is my wife. But we have, of course, bits and pieces of each other
Right.
in them. But like I said, I have three brothers. Their wives, their kids, we all get along. My mom and dad, they're still here, and they're fantastic. We try to travel and see each other. I talk to my dad 2-3 times a day.
Wow.
We're just really, really close. We don't go out. We're very, very simple. I go to work. I go home. We go to sports. We don't go out to dinner. We don't go out to parties. We're the simple
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
So that's really like us in a nutshell. I care about my business. I care about my family, and take care of them. We eat in 6.8 days a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
The occasional special occasion.
Just like it's like we should go to the local little
Yeah.
mom and pop Mexican restaurant out in Hamilton. Like we'll
Yeah.
go there, and then we go out, and my wife's the most amazing cook in the world. People ask how I'm not like 500 pounds because she cooks like everything from scratch.
Right.
Which is simple.
Love
I
it.
mean, we're really
That's
simple. It's
awesome.
all family for us,
Yeah.
and that's probably what people don't understand is
Mhm.
I'm in all this stuff and all this business and own properties all over the place, and it's really just comes back to family. And my clients are my family, my assistants my family, my buyer's agent Lindsay's my family, and we're a small little team.
Yeah.
We do a lot of volume. Now you got some of these teams, they're 10, 15, 20 people, and I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
but I want high success with a lower number of people rather than me make a lot. And each team is built differently. So
Sure.
that's pretty much, me and my family. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what I do, and that's what it's all about. But Patrick has three kids now.
Yep.
8
crazy.
months, and is it 5 and 8 or something?
5 and 7.
5 and 7, yeah.
8 months.
Yeah, that's tough.
Welcome
That's
back to the real world, Pat.
But it's, I think, family. I can't imagine life without family.
Sure.
I'd have to have some really, really close friends that would be considered my family. But family, I think, is the greatest blessing in the entire world.
Pretty safe to say it's your why, I would say, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. It is absolutely my why. I just couldn't imagine doing it without them or
Yeah.
for them. I don't do it for me. I don't have sports cars. I don't have boats. I don't have
Yeah.
vacation homes. I just, we have a lot of farm. We have dirt. We're dirt hoarders.
Well, reflecting back, you talked about how you had interest in real estate, not knowing it at an early age. How about your kids? Is there any like, hey, I want to be like Dad when I grow up, or anything like that?
I've touched on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've understand it yet, like
Yeah.
what their purpose will be.
Sure.
They're at the discovery age
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
of
pretty-
what do they want to do.
Sure.
They're not there yet.
Yeah.
Of course, you gotta go show a house with me. Oh, Dad, come on! They stay in the car and watch a movie.
Yeah.
So I'm introducing them to it. I would love for them to take over the business at some point.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
if I'm gonna build it, I would
Right.
rather them take it
You're
over.
right.
But somebody will get the benefit when it's time. I don't think I'll ever stop working.
Yeah, I feel like it's impossible once it's from a relational business, it's like it's
Mhm.
impossible to ever stop working, like there's no doubt somebody's going to call you in 20 years and be like, hey, I need you to sell my house. No,
Right.
like, okay, I'll see you in a few. I'll come over,
And our family has never, ever, ever, ever stopped working until
Yeah.
you physically cannot. Like
Right.
anyone in their whole family. Like there's no
Yeah.
retired and here I am on a porch.
Sure.
They're farmers, and
Yeah.
they work. My dad's 71. He has a drywall company. He farms about 3,000 acres of land, and he works every single day.
That's
A
awesome.
lot of it he don't get paid for because he's volunteer for his brothers and sisters, and
Mm.
we're tearing down houses, putting drain tile in. It's physical work. Whether it's my house, my brother's house, we're always doing something. We're just, this lady years ago, she's an appraiser, and she says, you guys are a bunch of worker bees. And it really stuck that I don't think I'll ever quit working. I may just stop getting paid
Yeah,
for the work.
that's true.
Right.
is what I think, kind of what's going to happen.
Well, I'm curious, going back to your baseball career
Mhm.
and making that transition, what do you think that experience, your experience in
Mhm.
baseball, has brought, or just being a professional baseball player? How has that affected or impacted your success as a real estate agent?
it's very, very much related. Being competitive, but baseball, you're going to fail a lot. If you fail if you're a hitter, if you fail as a pitcher, you're not. It's not as a hitter, so I can understand.
Right.
If you fail 7 out of 10 times, you can be a Hall of Famer. So you learn how to learn from a failure. It's not a failure because anything you do and you fail at, you learn.
Right.
And if you don't learn, then you didn't understand the whole point of failing. So I think that's a big thing, is understanding it's okay to not succeed at, and I describe it when I talk to agents is, if your cousin lists their house with somebody else, is it their fault? It's my fault. I didn't do something right. Because they thought, well, I cannot use Tyler, and I can use this person, and I'm still going to be okay, or they're better than me. That's my fault.
Right.
I know families that break up because they list their family with somebody else. It's your fault. It's my fault if they don't list with me. Now, it could be the wife's mom's an agent. But what didn't I do to succeed? So I think that has helped baseball-wise, being very competitive. Like, I want to be the best I possibly can.
Right.
It's not about numbers. I want to achieve my highest potential.
Yeah.
My highest potential may be half or a quarter of what somebody else, their ability to do.
Sure.
If I can, for me, if I can't be, I played with Albert Pujols, I played with Big Papi, I played with Manny Ramirez. I think I was really close to that level, but I can't be them, but I can be as good as I can be.
Right.
Some people just have more talent, better breaks. If somebody sells a $50 million property, did I fail because they sold a $50 million property? That's like,
right.
It's, you know what I mean? You got to understand your realistic expectations there. You can prepare, and you can get up and do what you can control.
Sure.
That's the part of baseball that's, I think, taught me a lot. I think companies go after athletes a lot because you have to work as a team. There's 9 players on the field.
Yep.
It's not basketball where it's one innocent. There's 5, but it's 1. They go after athletes because you have to work as a team. You have to work together. You have to prepare a lot. You have a lot of failure, and you can't quit.
Right.
So I think it has a lot to do working as a team, because you got a lender, you got a stager, you got to, you got to be real with yourself. You got to get up and be on time. You got to work late.
You got to cooperate with the other agent on the other end of the deal.
Cooperate with the other team. Yeah. So that, I think, plays a huge part in my, just because you learn, you don't know you're learning. It becomes who you are. So it matches into a lot of it.
Yeah.
Adapts right into real estate. It's the same thing.
Sure.
It's just it's
really
a different
interesting
game, but it's the same game.
Yeah. It's fascinating to see the comparison.
So I think team sports is a big thing for companies. They literally go after a lot of athletes.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because they have to work as a team. They have to be successful.
But I think what's really cool about athletes is you're born and bred in competition, and that's what real estate is. It's competition. I think ultimately it's also collaboration. But when it comes down to it, what are you going to do, when there's 3 other offers on the table? Like, you got to fight for your client. It's competitive. It's not.
You got to find
some people
a
kind
way.
of fizzle, and I feel like to your point, like you just keep battling through stuff.
Yeah.
Like
right now we're many within the industry, we're dealing with an MLS challenge,
Right.
a big challenge. And I saw a message yesterday that this agent says in this collaboration that we have, trying to band together as a team and stand up for what's right for us and our business and make it move forward so we can have success. And there was an agent in there, and she put, I'm a little person in this. I think small, I think detail oriented, but being on a big stage intimidates me. And I see how a lot of these agents, which she calls them big hitters, that they're not scared of anything. But you could see that when people get on a big stage, they melt.
Mm-hmm.
They panic, they freak out, they shut down, they literally have some fog in their mind and they don't think clearly.
Right.
And I think when you get on a big stage, so going back to playing days, the bigger the game, the more success I had. I think and this could be, I'm very ADD, ADHD. I mean, that's a million miles an hour all day long. But I think for me, chemically, I think I'm not a neurosurgeon or whatnot, but I think my body, as the stage gets bigger,
Mm-hmm.
my adrenaline pumps,
Sure.
and I focus more. I shut out, the first 50,000 fans. I played against the Reds with the Indians, and there's 47,000 fans. I don't hear them.
Yeah.
Wow.
People go, "Oh my God, what do you mean? How do you not hear them?" They're yelling and screaming and throwing beer. And you don't hear a word.
Wow.
And I think for me, chemically, I don't know if this is true. I just feel like my adrenaline pumps.
Yeah.
You get focused. I shut everything out and I get laser focused, and I can have a vision forward, and you just detail with all your prep for all these years to have a clear path for your client or for your at bat. Or that's, I think, an advantage that some of these agents, they rise up in pressure situations. They actually get clarity from their mind. They come up with more ideas.
Yeah.
And then some, they freak out, they shut down, they panic.
Right.
And I don't think that
Very
anyone's
different
ever
reactions.
got into that. I'm sure there's a way
Yeah.
to figure that out. But I've seen that happen. Like the better player, Manny Ramirez, probably batting 400 in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's won.
Yeah.
He zones in.
Right.
But if it's a Sunday day game at 1 o'clock, he probably goes 0 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger the stage, I think. The bigger agents have something that they can zone in, bear down, and I don't know what it is. I think it's adrenaline that focuses us
Mm-hmm.
rather than makes us freak out
I think that's
on a stage.
I think that's the difference between an amateur and a professional. Honest to God, I feel like professionals can compartmentalize their feelings, their emotions, and push to produce their best. And that's why they are the best. And I think there's certain people that may not be great real estate agents, and that's just the fact of life. It is what it is.
It's true. Yep. There was I think it was Jim Leland, one of our coaches back in the day. Of course, he was in the big leagues, probably won World Series and all. And he says, really the biggest, I think it was him that said it, and I've had a lot of really, really, really good coaches. The best coaches weren't the best players.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of the best players just did it.
Right.
They just perform. And they said when the games get faster, the best players slow it down or just they keep it the same pace.
Mm-hmm.
When the game gets bigger, they just keep the same pace. Nothing changes.
Yep.
They still stay laser focused. Big deals, multiple offers, 3 balls, 2 outs, 7th game of the World Series. There's guys that there's no care in the world. It's just another pitch.
Yeah.
Then there's the people that literally they're swinging the ball in the dirt and they're like, I don't know what to do, client, and they don't get the property. They don't think. I don't even know how to describe it. They just can't think clear, and then they just fall apart.
Freeze. Yeah.
Like you said, it's professionals
Yeah.
to amateur.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The best the cream rises to the top.
Well, and I think that's you could see that in real estate. There's people that sell one house a year, and there's people that have their full-time job. This is their business. They're professionals. I think, I don't know. And I'm not taking away anybody who sells a house, one house a year. But I think there's something to be said about the majority of the real estate being done by a small handful of agents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
And teams.
figure it out.
Yeah.
They don't fall apart. They figure it out. They don't go, this is good. They figure it out.
Right. Well, I think the last thing we kind of wanted to ask you about is advice. So from an agent who has had great success like yourself, thinking about an agent who might be new in the business. Sorry, you're fine. So thinking about an agent who might be new in the business, what kind of advice would you have for someone like that?
So I got this yesterday. I got this question. I get it pretty often, about once a month, that people reach out and they reach out because they want to be they see your success
Yeah,
and
they
they
see
think,
your
oh, it looks so easy. I want to make a whole bunch of money, and it looks
Right.
so fascinating. I see it on TV, and it's great, and it's just a wonderful little world that you live.
Yeah.
So basically, I said to her, and I'm working with them to possibly buy a property and sell a property. And she goes, do you ever have opportunity where somebody's going to start in the business and kind of ease into it and help an agent that's a bigger producer? And then in time, you maybe hold open houses or do stuff that you don't have time to do in the evenings. Or that is not the way. You can't do it.
Yeah. Can't dip your toe.
You can't dip in. You don't dip into a cold, but you got to jump in. In 2007, when I started, this is my experience, you jump in. Very, very good agent from Coldwell Banker reached out when I first started, and I think he saw something.
Sure.
And he's like, hey, I really want you to join my team. I think you'd be a great addition. And I remember saying, well, I was actually thinking of calling you and seeing if you would join my team.
Really?
Like, kind of a little bit of a smart ass.
Yeah.
But I went, no, like I'm not working for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pass that.
Yeah.
I am laser focused. I'm doing this. I'm going to figure it out how to be the best. But I don't want to be working for somebody, because I'm going to put in way more time, effort, dedication, research, what it takes. And I don't want you to take it all.
That's
Right.
awesome.
And it was just funny that he was like, fair enough. Like, I know, I see it. And he says, and let's keep in touch. And
Sure.
and still to this day, I won't say his name, but still to this day, he's like, I remember still trying to ask you to get on my team. And I knew you were going to do good.
Oh,
But
awesome.
you have to jump in,
Okay.
but you can't not work. Like the first 40, 50 hours a week pays your bills. 40, 50 hours a week, that pays your bills. That's a job. That's your job. But if you can get to 50 to 65 hours, that pays lots and lots and lots and lots.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that
Interesting.
the people don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to work 30 hours and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. Well, and they want the
Well,
flexibility.
if you figure that out, let me know. You got to work, and you got to do everything that somebody else don't want to do. So when you think, oh, that sucks, then you need to do it.
Right.
Whatever that is, oh, that sucks. That's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
No one else is doing it.
Yeah. Do the hard
That's
things.
why 10% of the agents make 90% of the money,
Right.
Yep.
because the 10% will do that thing that sucks.
Whatever it takes.
That
yeah.
thing that you got to call Patrick and tell him his house isn't selling because the pink wallpaper has to come down and the shag carpet has to be.
Or like we
you.
talked about the other day, you're not afraid to help somebody who's selling a $50,000 property. Like you're not
Nope.
too good for that small
No.
transaction, as opposed to, all I want to do is sell $500,000 homes.
Right.
It's like I built my business on helping everybody. So
I've sold a ton of houses under $50,000, like
incredible.
a lot, like $1,200, $1,500. Like the commissions were more than the house.
yeah, the gas money to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I actually remember one commission was $180.
Yeah,
Wow.
Now I spent $1,000 to make the deal.
yeah,
You don't work for the money. You work for the transaction and the relationship. They have an uncle that'll help you. They're going to have a mother that calls you and has.
sure.
You just do the work.
Mm-hmm.
The money comes later. Just do the work. Don't worry about the money.
Yeah,
Some of them you aren't going to get paid. A lot of work you do isn't what you get paid, but you get paid later.
yep.
Yeah. It's a long game.
That's
referrals and-
yeah.
yep.
So expect to get for all new agents. Expect to make no paychecks for 1 year, and do not tippy toe in.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, jump in and work and work and work and call people and follow back up. Answer your phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
If you do that, you're probably going to be pretty successful.
Yeah.
If you don't do that and you don't want to do that, do not get in the business.
That's awesome.
People talk about there being a low hurdle to get over to get into real estate. But what you just said is a very high hurdle.
It's a mountain.
Not making money for an entire year. That's a big hurdle.
Expect that.
Yeah.
Whoa, well, I gotta keep my job while I get into it.
Right. No.
You will learn to work if you are poor.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you have this little lifeline that keeps paying you every week,
Mhm.
you'll never jump off and get into it.
That's so true.
You will
So-
learn to work if you are poor. That's awesome.
Being poor sucks.
Yeah.
I was in the minor leagues. Trust me.
Yep.
My first year, I made $850 a month,
Oh my gosh.
and you pay for all your own meals, and you pay for your own apartment. Trust me, being poor sucks, but you will figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you go, hey, I'll give you, you put on a salary with somebody or something. Well, of course, you're not going to give that up.
Right.
Right.
It's your bait.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
in politics, that's what the government does.
Yep.
Here's a little piece. Don't let it go. You're going to be dependent on that.
Right.
Be independent.
Mhm.
Go make as much as you want.
Yeah.
But if you're held on by that, you're going. That's all you're going to be. You're going to have to be
Right. You're in shackles at that point.
in shackles. That is so. It sucks being poor. Go be poor, and you'll never want to be poor ever
Yeah.
again. So that's literally jump in.
That's great.
Jump in and work. And when
All
you
that.
think
It's
if
great
you
advice.
think it sucks, do it. If you think it sucks, then do it.
Right.
Work on handshake deals. Be honest. Be fair. Answer your phone and follow back and be honest. Every one of the successful agents do that.
Well, there you go, everybody. Being poor sucks.
Yes, it does.
Said by Tyler.
And I don't want to be poor.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, Tyler, thank you for being a part of this. You're just an outstanding person, man. Like, I've really enjoyed getting to know you. I've really enjoyed being able to help contribute in a small way to your success as far as marketing is concerned, and it's inspiring, man. Like, you're a good
Thank you, man.
dude, and I really appreciate you being a part of this.
Feel like a
So,
brother to me.
yeah,
Like, for
brother.
real. Without getting all teared up.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, relationships are huge. When you reached out to this opportunity, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in. I'd come
great.
back if you guys went phase
might
two.
have to do a follow up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I am all in for.
probably will.
This is a challenge for me. Just learning new things.
yeah,
You know, I've done many interviews through sports, but this is different. This is a little bit different. I'm willing to just challenge myself, learn.
yeah,
You never know enough. I could never ever speak in front of people when I first started. I was freaking out. I'd be shaking going into appointments. I can go on a stage now and talk to 50,000 people. I don't,
Yeah.
because
Wow.
I practiced enough.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you can't hit a curveball, you practice enough to hit that curveball.
yeah,
Yeah. Love
So
it.
this helps me go in front of people in boards. Last night I was on an interview with a fraternal owner of police, their board, against 7 different agents. One we know very well. We may play golf with him, and I have to perform.
Right.
I'm competing. Went very well, but if I didn't, I need to learn how to do the next one and win
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
all this stuff's fun, and I'm all
Celebrate
in.
the yeses and learn from the nos.
There's,
There it
that's
is.
right. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
awesome.
So, but thank you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
for having
you.
me on.
As somebody who's just met you, I'm very impressed, and just by how genuine you are, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing how your business goes from here.
You do. Yeah, I'm friend to everybody.
Hell
So don't be a
right.
stranger.
Well, thanks again, Tyler.
Thank
Yep.
you, Tyler.
Good deal.